Otakuology podcast with Otaku Mike Engine Graves.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Otakuology podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike. With me, as always, my heterosexual dead life partner,
Why am I
Jen
dead?
Graves. You're not dead?
No.
I thought you were dead.
Why am I dead?
I don't know. I just thought you were.
Why?
Because we watched Dead Leaves.
You
know?
No, I think I just have a TV head.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
But I picked this one for us to watch. Let me ask you, have you ever watched Dead Leaves?
Multiple times.
Multiple times?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So, I've actually never watched this movie.
Right?
Ever watched this movie whatsoever.
I figured as much when I was getting text messages. What the fuck is this movie? What's going on?
What the fuck did I just watch? And I was like, huh, this is interesting. But little information about this. This is a anime from 2004. It is done by Production IG, and it was licensed by Manga Entertainment. If you guys remember the wonderful Manga Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And it was directed by Hiroyuki Imashi, I believe that's what his name is. And did you know who this guy was? Yeah. You know who he is?
Yeah, it's the Gurren Lagann guy.
He's the Gurren Lagann guy. And I was like, why does this look so fucking familiar? He's the guy who went on to work with like Studio Trigger and stuff. And he made like Panty and Retro, Gurren Lagann, Kill la Kill, all those ones. Like he had a hand in those.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, because I was trying to figure out, I was like, I don't remember Production IG working with Studio Trigger.
Yeah.
So I was a little confused because like his stuff pulls heavily from all their later stuff with Trigger and whatnot, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, and I went to go look him up, and I was like, he is the panty and stocking guy. Of course he is.
And
I
you're
was
like, this guy can't be that guy.
But
he is.
He can't be that guy because they look so familiar. And I was like, huh, okay. You know, but this anime definitely has a very, very distinct style. What was that?
What?
Did you sneeze?
No, I coughed.
Oh, you know you have
I turned away though from the mic.
You know you have a mute button. You know that, right?
Hey, buddy. I want it to all be real for our listeners. Okay.
Okay. Well, do you want to start us off talking about Dead Leaves?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't remember people's names though. That's my only problem.
Pandy is the girl. Okay. And Retro is the boy. The TV head guy.
Oh, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
So he's known as Retro because of the retro TV on his head, and the girl is known as Pandy because she's got a red eye that makes her look like a panda.
Exactly. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I haven't caught that before. I was like, I don't think I know what these people's names are.
I mean, it definitely hits the ground running, and it gives you no context into like what the hell's going on in this anime.
No, it's like you're already kind of in the thick of it, and you're like, what am I doing now?
Yeah, no, most definitely.
But yeah, I mean, they wake up in a field like out there naked and
butt naked.
Yeah. And of course, Retro, is the horn dog. He's like,
he's like, oh yeah, I like what I see, and
yeah.
she's like, you're not doing me any service right here. This is not going to work out for you.
And then it kind of seems like we jump into the future because they get clothes and they are already like robbing things, taking, cars and all this other stuff, almost like a Bonnie and Clyde situation.
It very much felt like a Bonnie and Clyde situation. I will have to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, they do that and they get away from the police for a while until they end up crashing this really nice red hot rod car that they have.
I have to say that police chase is fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, I agree.
They had like robots fighting them, and like I was like, oh, what's going on here? Like, why don't what's like? I was so confused.
That whole part really strongly felt like shoot, what was that other one that we did that was by Studio Trigger? The one with the firefighters.
Oh, Premiere.
Yeah, Premiere.
Yeah.
That chase scene reminded me of like part of the fights and stuff in Premiere.
No, it does. It definitely does. I do have to say that. But like it was cool to see like all the gunplay and stuff in this scene, and I was like, this scene is very well animated because they were like killing people left and right.
Right.
It was crazy.
And I mean you get like a complete sense of like stuff out of this too, because you have all these quote unquote like humans that are on the planet.
They all look the same.
They all look the same. The police officers, the regular police officers, all look the same. And so you kind of get that whole thing of like, yeah, well, it's just there to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Because then after this happens and they get caught, besides the mech fight, which the robot was unique, they get sent to the moon prison, which I'm sure has a specific name, but I can't remember.
I don't remember what the moon prison's name was, but they get sent to the moon prison, and they're in like these weird straight jacket cocoon things.
Right. Let me know. What did you think about that?
Okay. So we get into this, and we meet these two like guard guys. One's name is 666 and one's is 777, and they're like the guards who run the place, But what do
they look like?
One's green, skinny and green, and one's big and blue. He looks almost like a gorilla, Yeah, it's weird, but yeah, all the people in this prison are like in these weird cocoon straitjacket things, and they have these little claws that pick them up and take them places. And as they're taking them places, like they go to eat, they go to shit, they go to do all this stuff.
Tell us about how they eat.
They get a feeding tube in their mouth, right?
Yeah.
Unless
you're like a more robot type of person, and then you get like an outlet.
Electrocuted, right?
Yeah. Because that's your source of food.
Yeah, and it was weird. And then we go to this whole part. They have this whole scene where Pandy and Retro get like fucking separated. And Retro goes to this one place where like, okay, now you guys got to shit. And he's like, wait, I don't have to shit. And the guy next to him who has a drill dick, his dick is a big golden drill. Think of the drill from Gurren Lagann. And it's that drill. But he has like this big drill dick. And he's like, oh, you're going to enjoy.
I feel like this would be a really good movie to go watch at like the movie theater.
Yeah.
And like whenever the drill dick guy like says anything, you go, my drill will pierce the heavens.
But it's funny because like it was weird because so like Retro is there. He's like, I don't have to shit, it is what it is. What are we gonna do? Like, how are they gonna make us shit? And he's like, oh, you'll find out. Drill dick tells him, oh, you'll find out. And he's like, it's not that painful. It's a little it's a little relaxing kind of. And they shove a tube up a port into his asshole, and they basically
Sucks the shit out of you.
sucks the shit out of you. Yeah, he sucks the shit out of him. And one of the guys,
Which the comment that reminds me of this is he goes, he's like, I shouldn't like this, but I like this.
I shouldn't like this, but I like this. Yeah. And then this one guy, he's in there, and his shit tube gets backed up. Which your shit tube shouldn't get backed up, apparently.
No, not with the amount that you're eating, supposedly.
Yeah. And they basically just kill this guy. They kill a couple people, but this one particular guy they kill. And, like, it was just so weird and odd. And I was like, what the fuck is going on at this point?
Then they all get sent to work.
They all get sent to work, and they go, like, break rocks, basically.
Yeah, so in your cocoon, you got two straps. You got one that basically binds your legs in this cocoon sack.
Yeah.
And you get one that goes over your arms. Well, when you're there for work, they undo the one on your arms, but it's still like you're stuck in a sleeping bag trying to, like, hammer rocks and shit.
Yes. And as guards are, like, watching you. And then they go back to their cell. Like Pandy and Retro go back to their cell. They don't know why they're there or what they did, basically. Like, their memories are erased. And for some reason, Retro gets the idea to, hey, let's have some intercourse in our cell. But
yeah,
how the fuck did they have intercourse in their cell?
Somehow he got his suit worked around where his little poo hole was.
Because they were both tied up, like they were both restrained, and he accidentally puts it in her exit hole, her butthole. He accidentally puts it in there on accident.
Yeah, because he gets the thing turned around, so his little exit hole is where his dick comes out of. And
I guess I didn't see that part.
I didn't see that part either. I'm just assuming that's how it happened, you know.
Okay.
And then he put it into hers, and that's why there was the whole mishap of you got it in the wrong hole.
Yeah.
You know.
But apparently they have, like, the most amazing, like, orgasmic sex ever.
Right.
And all the other inmates are listening to them have this amazing event happen.
They fuck so good that the rest of the inmates swear allegiance to.
Yeah, yes. They are like, you are the best thing ever. We will do whatever you say.
So, this is one of the spots that I have a question for you. But what did you feel about this whole part where Drill Dick, who is in the cell right beside them, and everybody else has 3 people in there? And did you notice that every other person was a guy?
No, I did not see that.
Yeah,
no.
So every other person in these cells is basically a guy.
Yeah.
And whatever happens, Drill Dick, like, mumbles something under his breath, and the other guy goes in front of him, goes, yeah. And he accidentally gets the guy in the ass with his drill.
Oh, yeah, that was funny.
And he spins him.
He spins him. He spins him good. He spins him good. I have to say that. Yeah. So after their amazing coitus session, they end up somehow escaping, and they know the codes to get out for some reason.
That means getting out of their bags and getting out of their shackles.
Yeah, and they get out, and they release everybody else. And they're like, come on, let's go.
Which here's something that I have to question.
Yeah.
So I know they're in these bag thingies, but how did they get into shackles in these bag thingies?
I think they were shackled, and then, like, the bags were put over them.
I know, but if they were working in these mine situation areas, then how are they still shackled if they had to use their arms?
I'm going to be honest, I don't know.
And then, here's my other question.
Uh-huh.
So underneath these, you basically have like a prison outfit.
Uh-huh.
And of course, both of them aren't wearing pants.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of
How
them's wearing
everybody else is wearing fucking pants, but both of these people.
Retro wears boxers.
I know, but they weren't wearing pants.
Okay.
So Retro's wearing boxers, and what's her face is wearing like cheekies or like
Pandy.
yeah, Pandy is
Yeah.
wearing something else. But neither one of those things were like ruined, even though
Yeah.
like we saw that they were ruined. So
Yeah. 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 No, I
questions.
questions, yes. Very much there's a lot of questions. But they end up escaping. They fight off the guards. They end up fighting a bunch of robots too. Somehow they get to the armory through a vent
Yeah,
with the drill dick guy. They get through there and they take all the guns. They get to a train and they find out that Pandy is sick. Pandy is having like throwing up and stuff. It's because apparently Pandy got infected with Retro's seed, and now she is pregnant.
yeah,
Because Retro tilled the ground and planted a seed, and now Pandy is with child. And this happened really
yeah,
fast. This happened so fast. Like she starts to like show like within minutes of this thing. Were you what did you think of when you found this out? This revelation.
the she had his seed.
Yes, like she was gonna have his baby.
Well, shit, that happened really fast.
I know, right? I know.
Um, which I mean, the time is kind of off base in this because things like jump forward so fast.
Yeah, they do. They do.
But they do that, she's already having like morning sickness. We
Yeah.
move forward,
They
you
fight.
know,
They fight the robots.
yeah, they fight the first set of robots, and then they fight 666 and 777.
Yeah. Which that fight was fucking crazy. I have to say.
I don't
Like
know.
the
Your favorite character died in that fight.
drill dick.
Yep.
Yeah, I really thought they were gonna like take his dick off and use it as a weapon.
No.
Because at one point, like Pandy gets like a severed blade hand to fight with, and has like a bone attached to it.
Yep.
That's why I thought maybe like Retro would get the drill dick. You know?
I mean, maybe you ain't that far off, buddy.
I mean, yeah, but it's crazy. Like they end up fighting. Pandy ends up remembering stuff. Pandy ends up remembering that she used to be here. I think she used to work here, if I remember correctly. Right?
Yeah. No, I don't think she worked here.
Or she
per
worked.
se.
She was like special forces. She was like a spy, I believe. But she worked like at the place or with the doctor who made all the clones. And she kind of like watched over the
Maybe.
little girl.
Yeah, maybe. That sounds closer, at least.
Yeah. And we find out that the little girl is all grown up. She thinks that Pandy and Retro, or I think just Pandy, killed her father, and she wants revenge on like Pandy and Retro, basically. We also find out that Pandy and Retro have been asleep in cryostasis for like 8 years. So that happened.
Yeah.
And Pandy and Retro's device, when they were trying to escape, malfunctioned. So that's why they were in cryosleep for a couple years. Finally woken up. So they end up in
Yeah.
this big fight. This big fight with the little girl, but she's not so little anymore. Do you remember what
Yeah.
her name was?
No, I just know what she looked like.
Uh, what was her name? Oh god. Oh my god. So I just looked at the names for these. I just looked up the names for one of the inmates, and his name is Drill Dick.
Hey,
Or
that's
Dick.
Drill Dick.
His name is Dick Drill. Sorry, Dick Drill.
There you go. That's our main guy right there. That's your favorite guy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he is kind of fun, you know.
Everybody needs some dick drill in their life.
Okay, so the warden of the prison is named Galactica. Is her name? I don't remember if we ever got her name in the movie, but that's who wants to kill Pandy and Retro is Galactica. And the Galactica
Yeah,
is like, oh, we gotta like kill him, you know, because they have the mutant gene or something inside of them, or Pandy does basically.
yeah.
And so she wants that mutant gene to like to take over stuff and like I guess make more mutants. I wasn't really clear what they wanted to do. Do you remember?
I think she just wanted to kill her off so that it couldn't happen.
Okay.
But we also get the whole part where she starts fighting her and everything and
Yeah.
whatnot. And of course, like this character,
Uh-huh.
who has to be more scantily clad than our heroes than the villain?
She has one tit out and then she has a tit gun.
She's got a
Like
cannon.
her other tit is a cannon. And I was
Yeah,
like, huh, this can't get any crazier because she uses said tit cannon. I mean, boob cannons are a normal thing in anime when it comes to like super robots and stuff.
yeah,
So Pandy, and let's just point it out, Retro ends up dying, basically. Like, he gets killed by Galactica, and Pandy goes crazy trying to
yeah.
kill
His little
Galactica.
his little human body.
Yeah, his human body gets cut off, and his TV body, his TV head's left there by, just walking around. So Galactica and Pandy are fighting. Galactica gets the upper hand on Pandy. What, Jin, what happens to turn the tides with this fight?
Magically, Pandy's belly grows super, super big. They have a little bit more of a fight scene and talking about what happened in the past. And then poof, out comes a little baby with Frankenstein.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Little,
You didn't get to the part where the hand pops out of her vagina with a gun and starts firing at Galactica. You skipped that whole part.
no, I thought it was Pandy's hand that, like she
No,
had a gun.
no,
Okay.
that was the baby. The baby's hand pops out and is like he starts shooting the gun, and then he pops out and he's this weird Frankenstein thing, like you said,
Yeah.
and he ends up like growing big and whatnot. And
And he
there's
changes colors.
there's this whole backstory with like a giant worm that eats too much, and somehow it's intertwined into the story. You remember how
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
intertwined into the story?
Well, yeah, I mean, they were in the worm cocoon bags and, they were screwed over and everything and
Well, they
went to
also
jail.
she also read the story to a little girl.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and then just like everything in this is related to like this kind of like poem.
Yeah, that Pandy
Um,
told Galactica.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to?
And then the
Uh huh.
baby also changes colors as he grows older.
He does. He does, and he ends up defeating the worm by like making it eat him. Like
Yeah, it's
he
like
gets
his last hurrah
he
as an
gets
old man.
he gets eaten by the big giant worm,
Yeah.
and then Pandy and Retro escape, and that's kind of the end of the movie.
Yeah, his last hurrah.
Yeah,
Which, again, it started like how it ended. Like, you really don't have a lot of sustenance to it, I feel like.
I mean, I feel like we kind of possibly explained this movie pretty terribly, to be honest.
I mean, let's just face it, though. I felt like this movie is, in and of itself, a dumpster fire.
Uh yes, it is. I
It's
think.
it's some of the other stuff that the guy worked on kind of lets you know that. Like, of course, we have a lot of bangers that have a beginning to an end that are
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
but then this one, the closest thing I can relate it to, that you're like, I have no fucking clue how this works.
Yeah.
Because you don't understand like the beginning, you don't understand the end, you just don't understand it because it doesn't actually seem like it has a beginning, end, or middle, which is fully coolly.
Uh
And this
did,
one fits. This one almost fits exactly the same criteria.
I mean, did he work on Fully Cooley?
Yeah,
He did.
yeah.
Uh, keep talking. I'm looking.
Wikipedia, it's on his page.
I'm looking. Hold on.
You gotta go under his name.
I mean, I'm looking under his name. Oh yeah, he did work on Fully Cooley.
You're welcome.
He also worked on like Cyberpunk Edge Runners, and that was a good one.
Yeah. Right.
But anyways, continue on what you were saying. Sorry.
But I mean, that's kind of what it seems like it runs like, like there's not really. You're kind of there in the middle of this ride to enjoy this, and then just instantly, like, poof, it's gone.
Yeah, it is very much poof. It's gone. I do have to say one thing I do like about it is the action. The action is bonkers crazy. If you just want to watch something for like the thrill ride, like you said, Jen, and the
Yeah.
action and whatnot, this is some of the craziest stuff I have ever seen. And we have glossed over some of it when it comes to a lot of the action stuff. Like we didn't even talk about the whole chase scene where they're holding on to like a motorcycle and everybody's holding on to the motorcycle to get away from the bad guys,
Yeah. Yeah. And they look like a quote unquote what? A giant worm.
Caterpillar, a
Yeah.
worm thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. Like seeing um Retro turn into like a big hulking robot at one point. It's crazy. Like to see like
Yeah.
all the Gynax tropes are kind of in this one little thing. Gynax slash Trigger. They're all in this, you
Yeah.
know. And like that's one thing that is really good is like the action. The world is fucking batshit crazy. Like I give props for this having such a weird and original world and original characters as well. Like the character designs were so odd and just very well done, I would have to say.
Yeah.
Like it very much seems like it was this was possibly like almost like a proof of concept type of anime. So where
Right.
here's what we can do, and if this does well, maybe we can do more. I don't know. Kind of
Yeah.
like how they did Blood the Last Vampire.
That's true. One of those. He worked on one of those too. One of the Blood Plus.
Yeah.
So.
Like it was very because they did that original movie, then like the series came out, kind of.
Yeah.
I wonder if this was like a proof of concept type of thing.
I don't know. I know that at one point, I think it also said that he worked on Ghost in the Shell, or that the company did.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Production IG worked on Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's just a really weird concept,
Yeah.
And without like knowing the guy's art style kind of thing or whatever, like I think that's also something that's lost because like me and another friend, he's like, this looks really familiar, and he was talking about Gurren Lagann and stuff, and I said, yeah, I said this is the same guy, but I said I don't know how he's connected into it
Yeah.
So I mean, we sat here maybe 15 minutes a piece trying to like figure out what the connection was, and we both ended up on
That's
the guy at
funny.
the same time. Like, oh well, maybe we should look at him. And I was like,
So let me ask you, as a whole, like, what do you take away from Dead Leaves, a story as a whole? Like,
um,
did you enjoy it? Like, what?
oh yeah, I always enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's just like a slapstick ride that you can get on and enjoy, and then basically be like, oh my god, it's
That just
over.
happened.
Shit, yeah. Um,
I feel this is one you could put on and be like, "Hey, y'all want to watch some weird shit?"
oh yeah, I feel like this is definitely one that you could put on in the background and like um, drink or something
Yeah,
like that, and then not ever. I mean, at some point, somebody's going to get sucked into it to end up watching it, and
yeah,
maybe have to go back and watch it the whole time. But there's going to be a part in this movie throughout it somewhere that even if you were sitting there around a table talking to somebody, everybody at some point is going to look away to look at this movie.
yeah. It's very almost like Looney Tunes esque. I would say, like, the characters do some pretty crazy, like, off the wall cartoon
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, and the other weird thing is like how some of like the smaller characters that you know are
Yeah,
either going to die or they're not really in the thing, because I think almost every prisoner dies.
everybody dies, but there are two main characters. I think.
Yeah, but they're all like noticeable though. Like
Yeah,
you see that guy, you go, oh yeah, there's that guy. You see another guy, you go, oh yeah, there's
yeah.
purple dick nose, or there's butthead with white shit coming out of him, or
There's ball forehead guy.
yeah, I mean, like everybody, like somehow, some way is noticeable in some way.
I Yeah, no, you're right. You're definitely right. I have to say, this was a very violent anime. Like, people die like left and right in this.
Yeah, and I think there's one more resounding thing that you have to realize about this.
What?
Sometimes you got to watch out because you could be dicked in the throat.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Because that does happen at one point. But yeah, like, it was crazy to see. Because, like, when I was growing up, and like, I think this came out, I was in like middle school. No, I was in high school when this came out. And it was very much like this anime very much like turned me off from like
Yeah,
watching it because it was so out of left field. Like, I was like, no, I don't want to watch that. That's not like my other anime. And
yeah.
then like occasionally I'll be like, should I watch Dead Leaves? I think I might watch it. And then eventually,
And then you finally watched it.
and then finally watched it because I think it went out of print like for a really long time. Like, I don't know if you can still buy it. I know you can watch it anywhere. And I was like,
I
oh,
am I am not sure on that.
I
I
want to
mean,
say,
I remember the first time I watched it though,
yeah,
because they put it on the, what was it? Not, it's kind of like MTV or VH1, but they put it
yeah,
on like the gaming channel thingy.
yeah. Was it on like G4 or something?
Yeah, G4. So it was on G4, and I remember it being on like Adult Swim at one point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very crazy anime, and I was like, like I was scrolling through the anime to figure out what to watch, and I was like, oh, let's figure this out.
The funny thing is, this is
What
one that I suggested to you, like, I think like a month ago or so.
was it? Was it? You're
Yeah,
so
and we ended up like picking a different one to review. But I was like, that's why whenever I saw that you said that you wanted to watch this one, I was like, oh, Mike went back to our old list that I sent him about like four different anime for us to watch or something at one point.
well. I picked
And
it
then
because it was super short.
And then when we start this show, and you go, "I've never seen this before," and I was like, "How in the fuck did you end up picking this one?"
Well, I mean, I knew about it. It was always in like the anime sphere of like there would be like every time I got like a manga video or entertainment video, they would always
Yeah.
have this trailer on the DVDs. So I could never escape it. It was always around.
Let me ask you another question.
Yeah.
Did uh did you watch this with anybody?
No, I watched it by myself.
I feel like I need you to watch this with somebody
Okay.
so that I can get their impression of it.
Okay. I'll have to watch it with them next time.
And then this might be one that I need some feedback from some coworkers
Oh.
of.
Yeah, I mean it was
I
balls to the wall.
I also really feel like this is that anime that you bring up to know who your friends are going to be.
I feel like this is
Because if somebody comes back to you and goes like, "Mike, that was the stupidest fucking thing ever," blah 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 blah, you're like, "All right, I understand your opinion. We're not going to be friends." They're
I
like,
mean
"But why?" And then on the other side, if somebody goes, "Oh my gosh, I love this part of it," you're like, "We're going to be friends for life, okay?"
it's so crazy and bombastic. I feel like it is kind of a almost like a weird measuring stick to be like, "Hey, what kind of anime do you like?" Are
Yeah.
you into the over the top stuff, or are you into more like, I don't know, Naruto? Who knows?
I definitely feel like there would be some complainers that are like, "This goes by way too fast."
I feel like it's kind of like if you kind of subtly enjoy this, you're not like the basic white bitch of an anime fan.
Oh, this is true.
Because it
This
is
is definitely
so
true.
like it's an acquired taste, I have to say. It's an acquired taste.
Right?
But yeah.
This is where the children become the adults.
I have to say though, watching it, I did like the art style.
Yeah.
Like the art style was cool. I liked the little details in the background, like whenever like us like it was almost like watching a comic book come to life in a
Yeah.
sense with the way the shading was and the way things looked. It very much was like a comic book come to life. And one thing I really liked was that they animated the sound effects. So you
Yeah.
got like a bang, thud, thump, zwunk, like
Yeah.
stuff like that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Like you can't say the animation is bad on this at all. It's like an orgasm for your eyeballs. Like it's like I was having an orgasmic experience with my eyeballs. I was like, "Oh my god, what did they
So
just do?"
I got one more question for you then.
Okay.
All right. So, you think the scene where Pandy and Retro hooked up was the first time they've hooked up?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
I think they probably have before. They just don't remember.
See, I thought they did it probably because I was like, well, if they're such good like heist people together, they've had to have done this stuff.
Well, they were like spies, if I remember correctly. Like they were like counterintelligence. I think
When?
when they were before they went through the whole cryo sleep thing, like they worked for counterintelligence. Like
Okay,
they
okay.
said they did, yeah.
Yeah.
It just happens
But
like their minds got erased.
yeah, yeah. But no,
Yeah,
I was thinking they probably did it before they got up there because I was like, this is so random for
I
them
have
to
to
be
say
like,
I like
let's get
Retro's.
it on.
I like Retro's second body, where he was more like the typical like robot, but he had like clampy hands and stuff, and he had like a little like droid body kind of thing going for him.
His third body?
Oh, his third was it his third body?
Yeah, his second body was where he was just a little head.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there were things that I liked about this. Is the story the best? No, it's not. But I don't think it's a story that you really take too seriously because it itself doesn't take itself seriously at all.
This is true. I agree.
And I mean, it's just a fucking weird like thrill ride, I would say. Like,
Yeah.
go ahead.
All right. So I got a question for you. At that point,
Okay.
then, what would you
Okay.
rate this?
I would rate it a 3.5
Okay.
out
Okay.
of five. Out of five.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd give it a 4.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair, you know.
It's got bumps in the road. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie on that, but it kind of puts everything into a pretty package. And
Yeah.
you know, eh, the things that make it lose the point are also the things that I think bolster some of the other point areas.
Uh huh.
Just because it's, you know, you feel like you want to get this elaborate backstory and you have all these questions, but
You
then you
don't really
realize,
get
like,
that.
yeah, but then you also realize, like, if you did get that it would kind of water the story down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because most of the other stuff that it has is like the mystery of where part of that crap happens or
True.
how it happens and
It
all that other stuff.
really it really left me wondering. I was like, okay, so what else happened? Like, tell me more about Pandy and Retro. Like, you know,
Yeah,
tell me more about the clone farming thing they got going on in the moon. You know, what's going on with that? You
right, right.
know.
So,
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with you, but I mean, I would give it a 3.5 out of five.
so that's a
Like,
7.5 altogether.
so I didn't hate it. I had so many questions that were not answered.
Yeah.
I have to say though, I didn't fall asleep watching this.
Oh,
Like,
that's good
I
because
stayed up.
I feel like almost everything we've watched so far, you've been like, I've fallen asleep during this. Like even some of the good shit that we watch, you're like, I took a little nap and I had to go back and watch it again.
I mean, you're not wrong about
Or
that.
like, I remember where I was. I was past
Yeah,
that guy killing that other guy, and I had to wake up, or I had to go back to that one spot where I knew I left off
yeah.
and finish watching it.
No, yeah, it was fun. I recommend checking this out if you want to watch something crazy. Check out Dead Leaves. Like, you won't be disappointed. Like, you
Yeah.
won't. You won't. If there's gunplay, there's violence, there's action, there's sex, there's drill dicks. I mean, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with drill dick.
But there's drill dick.
Drill dick.
Jesus Christ. The egg. And there's boob cannon.
And boob cannon. Like, you get everything.
Right?
Yeah. But,
So
yeah.
watch this if you want to see Retro go after Pandy and get her. See you next Tuesday.
Yeah, no, totally.